Well, hello Track Gang. It happens to be July 31st of 2022. This is vlog 30, or episode 30. I'm Ray. Welcome to the Boeville in Newtown yet again. We're back to working on the park, but as you can see, I'm not actually over at the railroad, and there's a reason. I wanted to do something a little bit different with the park, something I've never attempted before. And I just noticed that the camera's flashing a little bit because I was raising my hand. I'll keep my hands down. Anyway, I actually went to Joann Fabrics the other day, actually yesterday, and I picked myself up some plaster because I'm actually going to attempt something, like I said, that I've never attempted before, and that is rock casting. You're building a park. What do you need a rock casting for? Well, let's just put it this way. When I get done with this, you'll understand, and folks that are from the area near me will understand, will get a good laugh out of what I'm actually going to call the park. But I'm going to work on getting the plaster set up and get everything mixed, and we're going to try a pour and see what happens. So stick around. This ought to get fun. There's my remote. Okay, so per the bag, this is supposed to be a 2-to-1 mix, and this happens to be perfect plaster. Like I said, this came from Joann Fabrics, and it's good for pottery and ceramics and things like that, whatever. So what I've done is I've actually put a full cup of plaster into a cup, and I've got a half a cup of water sitting here, which would make a 2-to-1 mix, or at least it should. So we're going to mix this up real good. Of course, this is real scientific stuff here. And I'm sure that everybody out there has got different ways that they do this, and so on and so forth, and you know, whatever, to each his own. Everybody does this a little bit different. This is just the way that I'm doing it because I've never done it before and I'm going by the book. I could really be screwing this up. Who knows? We will see what it looks like once they're done. But I can tell you that it's going to be a bit, because the reality is it's supposed to set up in a half an hour, but it's supposed to take 24 hours to cure. I'm trying to make sure that I get in all the... I should have gotten a smoother cup. It probably would have made things a little easier. Yeah, but somewhere along the way, one of my donors, I guess would be a good way to put it, had donated a box of stuff that had a whole bunch of scenery stuff in it. And one of the things that was in there, actually, too, were a pair of rock molds. So we got that one. And then we've got this one. Now, obviously, this one here is a little bit big for what I'm trying to attempt to do, so we'll see what happens. I might be able to use a smaller four, but I want to see how far this goes. And I think we got a pretty good mix going on here, although it seems to be a little stiff, but pour this into the molds here and see what happens. What's the worst thing that can happen? It doesn't turn out and I start over, that's all. You know, the better part of this hobby is trial and error to begin with. For me, it seems to be a lot more error than trial, but that's beside the point. The only thing I'm trying to do here is just trying to smooth these out just a little bit. I'm trying to make sure that the plaster is getting into the down into the mold. Gotten a little too much on here. Let's see if I can actually manage to somewhat save this. A little bit. And try and pour some of this into the other mold, or at least into one or two of these little smaller ones. I can tell you that this stuff is making 1 mil of a head, so it's either that or it's just me. And it might be more of the latter. It might just be me. That looks like it might be a win, sort of. All right, track gang, while we're waiting, and the lighting is a little bit bright. Anyway, while we're waiting for the plaster to dry real good, I want to work on another project. Something that's been bugging me for a little bit. It's not a huge project, but it's one of those things that when you're doing operations, you find these neat little idiosyncrasies. Well, one of them was the fact that the control for the walk-around throttles is over here by Boeville Yard, when in reality it should be up at in between the two hidden yards. So I've already gone ahead and taken the panel off the fascia here, and I'm going to disconnect this and go ahead and move it up to the hidden yards. So that's what we're going to work on now. All right, folks, I'm going to try to explain this as best I can. We kind of did talk about this last night on Sidetrack Sunday, number 5 for the month of July. But I moved the DPDT switches for the selection of it, whether it's the A throttle or B throttle. Of course, this is still the way it was before. You got the southbound, the northbound, A pack, B pack, A pack, B pack. So basically, you know, it's when it's towards the middle, you're going south. When it's the other way, or actually, you know, when you're over here, it's B. When it's over here, it's A. So on and so forth. Anyway, that didn't change. What did change is how this works. So now, this comes from the selector here, goes over, and this is actually feeding the power into the board. In other words, the power from the power packs, or the power supplies, comes in, feeds this, and then it goes out to the track through the fuses that are sitting here. Now, these are half amp fuses. They might be a little light for what I'm doing, but I wanted to test that. The thing is I got quarter amp and I got half amp. And the other ones that I have are just, I think, are way too big. They're 7.5 amp, and that's going to be a problem. So I'm trying the half amp ones for right now, and we'll see how things work. As you know, I told you I inadvertently tested this yesterday when I was running trains. I had one jump, and it shorted out, and it blew the fuse. The problem was I actually had this flipped. So I fixed this. The upper fuse is now the northbound, the lower fuse is southbound. So that is how it works, and it does work. Like I said, I had it running before Sidetrack Sunday last night. The thing is the two trains that are sitting here, not so much the chassis, but the Boeville and Newtown that's sitting over here with the Baltimore and Ohio passenger cars, I have had not issues with the locomotive, but I've had issues with the cars because they're using the stinking long McHenry couplers, and I don't like them. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get back to the scenery stuff. Alright, this is probably a dangerous way to do this. In other words, what I'm getting at is it probably would be better for me to go ahead and pull these out of these molds without the camera rolling. But I figure, what the hey, I'm going to do it while the camera's rolling. So we're going to play around with this one, because this one here was the second one that I did, and we're going to try and peel these out of here. Let's see what we've got. Alright, that one there's got a little bit of flash on it, but that's not a problem. I can clean that up. Probably should be doing this over the trash can, but oh, I just broke that one. Alright, well, needless to say, these have been in the mold for over 24 hours. That turned out, sort of. I just broke it though, but that's okay. I can always figure out something to do with that. Let's see if we can manage not to break the next one, huh? Now, like I said, I'm seeing these for the first time as you are seeing them. There's no tricks, no camera gimmicks, no nothing like that. That one there's got a little bit of flash on it too, but that's okay. It sounds like glass. Gee. Man, that one's got a little bit of flash on it too, but I like that. That, for my first attempt of doing rock molds, I will take the little idiosyncrasies there. Like I said, I didn't need really big rocks for what I was wanting to do over there, but let's take a look at the bigger ones, huh? Let's see what we've got going on here. Oh yeah. Like I said, a little bit of cleanup around the edges because I spread this in here. You know, but other than that, so note to self the next time, don't try and spread it like you would, you know, other things. Try and pour it straight into the mold and that'll be it. But I've got myself some rather nice looking rocks out of this. Now obviously I'm not going to need all these where I'm working at the moment, so I've got some of this for future work. But to be honest, I am quite pleased. Let's like I said, I've got some cleanup, but for my first attempts, yeah, I'll take that. I will definitely take that. Nice. So let me go ahead and get these cleaned up a little bit, and we'll go from there. Now, how I'm going to do that, I don't know yet. I'll figure that out. We'll be back. Okay, I'm hoping it shows up on camera. I'm not sure that it will because the area is very white over here at the moment. But let me introduce you to Double Rock Park. And like I said earlier, people from the area are going to get a little bit of a giggle out of that because there is actually a park near me that's called Double Rock Park, but it's not because it's got 2 rocks in it. But this is what I was looking for. I think this is going to work. You know, I've obviously got to start painting this area now and get that all done. But there we go. There is the start to what will now be called Double Rock Park.
Okay, so starting work on Double Rock Park here. Unfortunately, I forgot to turn on the microphone, so I'm doing a voiceover. So what we're looking at here is the fact that I've got the swing set, the slide, and the merry-go-round sitting here next to, or in between the rocks. And I'm trying to explain that the rocks are sitting there, but one of the things that's going to be coming up, and there it is. It's a unique file. It's actually got a point to it, and it's actually half rounded on both ends. And what I'm going to do here is I'm actually poking holes into the foam core, so that way I can relocate where the swing set is going to sit. And now what I'm going to do after I make those marks is I'm actually going to turn it upside down. I'm going to pick away at the foam core to make it like you would see, you know, when you go to a park, you've got swing sets, the kids drag their feet across the ground and it wears away the ground. So I'm using the file to basically do that. And I'm obviously going to do that twice here. So there's the one side, and now we're going to do the other side here. And when we get done, there will be a little bit of a divot in the foam core, and that'll all get painted, and it'll look all, you know, sort of like I said, like the kids have dragged their feet across the ground. I'm not doing anything different, or not going to do anything really with the sliding board or the slide or the merry-go-round as far as, you know, the ground as far as digging into it. Those areas obviously those will be more brown than they will be green, and of course I just was blowing the dust off and actually blew away the merry-go-round. You know, it was a gust of wind. So now I'm making marks as to where the making a mark as to where the slide is going to sit. And then I'm going to be bringing in a pencil here in a minute, and we're going to make marks as to where the rocks sit so that I can take them back off the foam core and put some white glue on the back side of them so I can put them into place. Now, is this the best way to do this? Yeah, probably not. As I've mentioned before, scenery has not ever really been my forte. I've done some, I guess for lack of a better term, half-butted work on scenery. So this time around, we're actually making a concerted effort and a real, real effort to have some halfway decent scenery on the Boeville Newtown instead of something that's just kind of there. So I'm still trying to get the glue out of the bottle. I think that's the reason why this is taking a while. I've got that huge bottle of glue and I've got a little squeeze bottle. Yeah, there we go. Hey, the rock is back in place. Can you smell what? No, that's something completely different. Anyway, so now we're marking the other rock. And we're going to pick that one up and we're going to put some glue on the back side of that and do the same thing. And then once they're back in place, we're going to move on to the next step. I'm hoping it doesn't take as long to get the rock back over here, and I don't think it's going to. So, here it comes. There's the rock. Alright, so now we're putting the rock back in place, and I realized that I've probably put a little too much glue on the backside, and it kind of started squeezing out. It is what it is. We'll figure out what's going on here, and then what we're going to do now, and I'm not going to show all of this, but I changed the color of the paint, that brown paint. I went ahead and added some white to it to try and lighten it up a little bit. I think it did. It didn't lighten it up as much as I had hoped, but it is lighter than what was up underneath of Union Station, so I'm just going to have to keep messing with that and seeing if I can get some more white paint into that and see if we can lighten it up a little bit more. But I'm not going to bore you with me sitting here painting, so we're going to go ahead and stop here and move on to the next part. Alright folks, so I screwed up somehow. I thought that I had the microphone on. I think I explained that in the last little episode. I actually had to do a voiceover. I thought that I had turned the microphone on, but regardless, I didn't. So we're recording from the webcam. So this is going to conclude this episode of the Boeville and Newtown. You all know the deal. Wait for the highball. Green tracks ahead. We'll catch you all next time. Be safe. God bless. We'll see ya.